Chairman McBride, you called a special meeting here, and it's clear you want more public involvement. How can
Yeah.
they get involved in this?
Yeah, that was the purpose of the whole meeting, was to listen to what's happening. We felt that the decision that was made was based on a committee that was not prepared for the community outcry. That naming a high school is much different than naming an elementary school. Nobody on the board has ever named a school, whether it's an elementary school, a middle school, or a high school. We haven't been involved in that. It's a fairly new board. And so we reviewed the policy. We commissioned an advisory committee. They got together. They did what we asked them to do. They presented a name, and we were following policy. But we didn't realize till after that decision was made that there was a lot of people who felt disenfranchised, didn't get a chance to put in their 2 cents. So I think the exposure was not quite where it needed to be. So we want to take a step back as the board, listen to all the comments and the things that are coming in, and allow them to have an option to put in their voice, run it out in a survey, and get down to 3 or 4, and then present those in ranking order to the board, and then they can choose.
And then next week or so is critical. Like if you want your voice to be heard, your suggestion for the high school name and
Absolutely.
mascot.
This is the week
this
to
is
do
the
it.
week to do it.
Yeah, I mean, we want, and the talk in the meeting too is, are we getting to all the demographics of those taxpayers in our district? And it's almost impossible to get it everywhere. We talked about the Paul's age, who's who's on the board. He's older than all of us.
Newspaper, markets, and
Well, going to the grocery store
Yeah.
and just seeing that they're getting a voice too, because they aren't in the schools. They're not on our Power School email list. And so there's some people out there that we're paying taxes. We want a part of this as well. And so they're going to get a chance to have an opportunity to call into the district, whether it's just a phone call and my name is this, I like this name. And then we're going to put together an advisory committee who will disseminate that information, put it out in a survey, and then that will narrow it down to a select few where they can present that to board in a ranking order, and then we can select the name of the school and the mascot and the colors.
And Sam, that's a good way. Like the phone calls do make a difference, and we do relay that. Talk about that.
We do. We get a lot of phone calls. But what I like about, you said we're having it in the committee, but essentially everybody's going to be part of that committee.
Yeah.
Because it's going to a survey form.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where we're going to get all the community input. And even those who don't have access to Facebook, if we go to the supermarkets and we go to the newspaper, whatever, then everybody who has a voice can be heard.
Yes.
In the meantime, though, and we mentioned it earlier, the next 10 days or so are critical. This is when you want those raw ideas, right? What are you looking for in the next week?
Yeah, this is kind of back to the raw part of the whole process. It's getting those names that haven't been considered, to make sure that everybody has an opportunity, because the criticism the board is that we're not listening, and we want to make sure that everyone gets a chance to. Will we reach everyone? Probably not. It's just probably impossible to reach 10,000 patrons, but we're sure going to give it our darndest and do the best we can to see what we can come up with.
Yeah, I have to ask: is the board listening?
They're reading.
Overwhelmingly, yeah.
Overwhelmingly.
Yeah.
I think you can tell by the actions here. So,
Well, and I think that also the district is listening as well. I
Yeah.
mean, we've gotten Facebook posts, very positive ones, very negative ones. It's been a two-way battle.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this will bring the community together and say, okay, we all have a voice, we all want to be heard, and I think this is a good avenue to start with.
Well,
I'm
and
sure that's the hope there.
And we don't want the Black Canyon Phantoms, black, silver, and blue to feel like that's still not an option, even though that was put on a halt right now because we're going to go to this process. There are a lot of people out there that are absolutely in love with this mascot, the name and the colors, and we need them to know that they are not forgotten in this process. That will be part of the survey, regardless if that's what the committee comes up with or not. The committee that has already originally put this information together overwhelmingly felt that was the name, the mascot, and so that is going to be part of the survey. And there's a lot of people that love that, and I think it'll be great to have on there. So
It might just be the former news reporter in me, but I have to ask these tough questions. Like, what do you say to the patrons who did submit and maybe felt like they weren't heard? Are they being heard? And
oh yeah, because this is not squelching anybody. This is this is, it's unfortunate to the committee who's actually presented that name, and they may feel as if that their recommendation wasn't worthy. That's absolutely not true. 5 board members thought it was. We all voted for it. So obviously, we felt that that was a good name, but there was an outcry. And we realized that the process was limited and that we needed to be a little more comprehensive when we're talking about a high school. And so, so the committee that did their work, we applaud. We love the name. We love the mascot. We love the colors because it was voted on to send it forward as that being it. But now we're taking a step back. We're going to take that and add it to whatever we feel that, or others feel that they would like to have a say in it. Take it back to a survey and then let more than 10 people choose this school.
And I should ask that the names that have been submitted, they're not going anywhere. They're still on file. We went through them again today. And so they're still up for consideration. They do want to see some new ones, so make sure, post those in the comment section. We'll have another section on the Facebook page too, so you can post your original ideas for the name and the mascot. Sam, anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, I like to say, the committee, they did exactly what they were told to do, and I applaud them. And this is a hard, tough place for them to be in. And like you said before, they weren't ready for the backlash, and they probably weren't even expecting a
Yeah,
backlash.
and I feel bad for what they've been through because they were put in a tough situation that I don't think they realized the magnitude of the decision that they were coming up with. And like all of us didn't. And so this, I really don't believe that anyone is at fault because no one has named a high school at this point. And so I think that they should know that a lot of the work that they have done is going to play a significant role in naming the school. And they were a part of that, and we're grateful for them.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Great. So yeah, leave those comments, and we'll go back to this the next time the board meets.